There we go. And for once, I wasn't fiddling with the camera when it went live. Oh, and now I've got echo again. That's fine. I'll deal with the echo. Good morning, ladies in Creative Genius Corner. How are you this morning? I am here for the second time this week talking to Becca. I could talk to Becca every day and I'd be really, really happy doing that. So what we're going to do this morning is we're going to have more of a laid back chat about the 5-day challenge and the creative mastermind. So for the next couple of weeks, you're going to be sick of me posting the link for the 5-day challenge in this group and everywhere else on my social media. And I'm not going to apologize for that because it's really important. And most of you know this that are following me. It's really important to make sure that you're getting in front of your audience on a regular basis for that moment that they are ready to take the plunge and click the link and sign up and say, this is the time. This is the time that I'm ready to commit to something and invite change in, or I'm ready to buy something, or I'm ready to do something. And that's an important lesson for us in general. So sorry, not sorry. You're going to see loads of posts about the 5-day challenge. And that's what we're going to be talking about this today, because this time last year, around about this time last year, Becca did my 5-day challenge. Morning, Kelly. She was howked in there. That's a Northumbrian word. Howked in there by Rachel. Didn't know what she was in for and did the 5-day challenge. Then joined me on the Creative Mastermind. So this morning, that's what we're going to be talking about. So I interviewed Becca on my all my social media platforms on Tuesday night. So today it's different because you guys are in here because you already know that you need something or you want something. You've got creative businesses, you're ready for something else. So without further ado, Becca, introduce yourself properly, even though people might know you in here. Let's do the whole introduction thing. Tell everybody what you do, and then we'll kick off and have a chat.
Well, good morning, Queen Mandy. Thank you for having me. That's the first thing. It's joyous to be with you. The dog is asleep. That's the only thing that matters this morning. So I will pray we will have silence together. But I'm Dr. Rebecca. I'm the Life Joy Coach and author, and I help brave, brilliant women transfer their burnout into balance so that they're more confident, powerful, and joyous. And I write happy books, and I do one-to-one coaching.
Fabulous. I love that. Every time I hear it, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me get there.
Yeah. Yes, that was a labor of love over the last 12 months, wasn't it? Get into the bio that was right for you. It's one of the many, many things that we do in the program. So this time last year, you came into the 5-day challenge. So tell people in here, like, just really honestly, what that experience was for you, how you ended up in there, how it was for you, and what was the thing that drew you towards this is the time to do it?
Well, I have to say, I didn't say this in our other interviews, but this is a bit of human folly for you, which is joyous, but also powerful. So if we can see our own folly, I always think it helps us along. I had known and appreciated Rachel, and she just invited me. So I had assumed I was doing a 5-day challenge of, stand up, put your legs to the right, go for a run, whatever. So I thought it was Rachel's 5-day challenge. And I've been ill for a long time and I'm always trying to be well, but I also trying to learn. So I knew I couldn't run marathons, but I might learn something that would help my hip or, those kinds of always. So I just did it because Rach said so. Now, would you jump into a river because somebody told you to? Well, yes, if the cliff's going to drop off. So I went with a quiet support with no glasses on. So now I have better glasses. And I joined. And I had seen other challenges before. I would say this, and I would say this with gusto and glee. I've had a long academic life. I've had a long life of being self-employed as well. But it was a mega, mega challenge. So if you do nothing else, do the challenge because A, it's a generous one. B, you will learn an awful lot. You will learn how to put a challenge together if you need one. And also, Mandy has an epic brain. But what's also lovely is she has epic people. So I would say very gently that you will make new friends on the challenge. You will learn from them. And there's a little bit, if you're trying to be creative and self-employed, you will feel less alone. Because when you're trying to be self-employed and honourable and not sell and all of that, but you're trying to offer a service of joy and hope and worth to the world, you do need good people around you, because it's a lonely business. So I think that challenge is just a lovely gift. I would do it because, and I would also say, give yourself some time to do it in the week. I would see it as a business retreat.
Yeah.
So, you have creative retreats where you go to your lovely bed and breakfast and do painting and find yourself again. But if you did this, it'll refresh you, it'll restore you, and I think it'll reinvigorate you.
I think that's a lovely description. And that's kind of what I wanted to create when I was doing. If you think that Debbie's just said 5 days can change your life, it absolutely can, 100%. When I was creating the 5-day challenge, I was also creating the retreats and the creative archetype quiz. So they're all intertwined in a way. All the work was happening at the same time. So I was asking the questions, how can I best serve the people in my world? How can I bring them into a 5-day challenge and make an impact and make a difference and send them off with, good work that they can do? So I was asking all those questions in lots of different areas. So it's funny that you've used that description, because I never even connected the dots there. And usually we're very good at that. So thank you for that.
I try and contribute. I'll look after your treasure.
I'll change all my copy now. So you were there for 5 days and you're very good at doing the work. You did the work. What was it that made you, what was it that encouraged you, I have to watch my words, encouraged you to say, you know what, I want to do this creative mastermind. I get the feeling that this is the right thing for me.
Yes, well, that's an important question, because this is an enormous step.
Yeah.
And it's an enormous step because of threefold. Obviously, there's a fee, but there's a fee in terms of your hours and energy and the year of your life. I believe that that's a wise investment on both fronts. Mm-hmm. But they are significant.
Yeah.
Do not go into this lightly. But I can honestly say, and I am a diligent person, but I have absolutely loved it. Mm-hmm. And it has done me and my business. So the two parts to this, a power of good. Mm-hmm. So I have loved our teachings. I hope my attendance has been excellent. I was thinking about, the children who get 100% attendance at school. Well, yes. And this is so powerful, because if you're unwell or struggling, I've had a ton of health issues and I've got a ton of things that I'm holding in the world. And I still manage, by the grace of God, to carve out my Mandy homework time and the turn up. So in some ways, that course was a refresher for me. It taught me new things I didn't know. It led me further to help me with the business. But also I had those Monday nights and Thursday mornings with my friends. And it wasn't just, you have to do this. And there was a lovely tone in those sessions. We laughed a lot. We learned a lot. It was proper education. But I listened very carefully to everybody else. I've made beautiful friends, and I'm very proud of their progress. So I would say, if you know you don't work hard and you don't want to do certain things, and you're a bit in-betweeny and you think spending the money will solve it, you have to spend the money, but you have to do the work.
I think that's really good advice, because I think there's so much, isn't there, that pops up on your newsfeed that makes big promises. And today, and it's so confusing, because there's so many big promises out there of the secret formula for this, or the guaranteed results formula for this. There's a secret sauce for everything. And there really isn't. When it comes down to it, there really isn't. There are a few people, that 1% at the top, that hit the right thing at the right time with the right marketing and the right messaging, that do become millionaires overnight, or it seems like they become overnight millionaires, but they don't. What we don't see is the 10 years of work behind that and the struggles that they've had that are invisible to the outside world. We just see the end results. And I'm very honest with look, it's going to take time, because there is no quick win here. You do need to do the work. And on average, it's going to take you 2 years to get your business on rails properly. Yeah, that's the honesty of it.
And I love your pragmatism in that, because it's so easy in this culture that we have now of instant transformation, instant get, and a complete lack of diligence and contribution. And you're very open about money, which is a relief, because we all need to be. We have to be sensible about these things. And the fact that you could do the payment plan was a huge empowering thing. And I was fortunate I had funding. And if anybody's self-employed dealing with health issues, Mandy moved heaven and earth to help get the admin done for my funding. And getting admin done is an enormous job. And you did it in an afternoon. And I remember saying to the lady at the other end of the admin, who's a delight, I said, look, this is an important thing for me to try to do. I'd had a good business for 10 years. But it was a relatively simple business. Mm-hmm. So I didn't need to know about email marketing or social media or funnels or the nuances of all the things you teach us. And there are so many little layers of getting this right. So I knew when COVID hit and spoiled all of that for me, I was starting again. So I'd been very sick and I didn't work till I was 36. I did a degree, a master's and a doctorate. I knew what slog was. So I knew I was well placed to do your homework. Mm-hmm. I'd watched you for a year because I couldn't just chuck all of this at somebody I'd met for a week.
Yes.
So I think there was important evidence-based decision-making that was done logically and wisely. And you were encouraging in that challenge, because I listened to the 8 o'clock answer your homework question sessions and my mind was expanded exponentially. But also, I remember thinking, she's going to be tired after this. I was worried about you. But also, I saw the questions that other people asked and I thought, that's it. I need the right teacher. Mm-hmm. So I had been looking for you, and I've had a lot of good teachers, but I hadn't needed one, quite frankly, for so long and so expansively.
Yeah.
And the other thing to say is it is a big commitment of time and energy, but there are few things in this world that are worthwhile without those things.
Yeah, that's true.
If you do your homework and you keep going when it's uncomfortable, yes. When you've had somebody pretend they're going to buy from you and they don't, when you've had somebody let you down or cost you money or behaved in a disappointing manner, that's a good phrase, isn't it? Disappointing.
It really is. So yeah, that means people who copy and steal your things. Yes.
Yes. And I have had a lot of plagiarism, and I've had my fair share of disappointing behaviour. But one or two of the things that have come from this that I had no clue would come. I thought you'd teach me how to do MailChimp better. I thought that's what I need to know. Yeah. But actually, quietly, I didn't lack confidence before. I've been very fortunate in many ways in my life. But I have now a quiet self-assurance that what I offer has worth, and it needs kindly boundaries, and I can cope better with the throes of life in business.
That's really important. And that's one of the key objectives I have for all of you when you come and join the Creative Mastermind. That's why the first few modules are actually about you and your self-esteem and your confidence, because I know one of the traits of creative women in particular is this lack of self-confidence, lack of self-belief, lack of self-esteem, shiny objects, all the things that go on. And you've seen it in the other ladies that are in there as well, how easily they can become overwhelmed and how we reel them back in and we give them this virtual hug and we say, you know what, it's okay, you're going to get through this.
Yes. Yeah. And that's quality leadership. Mm-hmm. And the bit that's also important to me is the tone and the temperament of it all. We are working, and I have worked extremely hard. Please don't think I've just rocked up and suddenly got a ton of clients. And I've pushed leads. I've checked everything down. I've replied to all my Facebook comments. I've done an email every week. I've done a blog every couple of weeks. I've done 3 times a day in my group. So I've done all of the things you said, and I have written my bio about 1,000 times. I still can't say transform, but the people I help at the end of that are very important to me, and they always were. But the whole point of learning the things with you was to be able to help more consistently. And also, I am now passing on some of that, which is lovely. And I can say to people, oh, you need a Facebook page, you need these things. And it's very organic. You just absorb it all. So this is, I hope, bigger than the sum of the parts.
Yeah. And that's important. What you've just said there, the passing it on, the being able to pay it forward in so many different ways, because your confidence in helping these people as well, you know now that you are worthy of being paid the right amount of money for the work that you do, because you help these people in such a great way. And I think it just, for me, I've watched you just pull it all together, and it's like you've got whole now. When you said the sum of the parts, that's exactly what I see now in your business, because your business makes perfect sense. It's very synergized.
Oh, I'm so pleased you think that. The teacher's pleased with me. Yes.
And it can feel a bit bitty at the start, can't it? And a bit all over the place. Not necessarily for a lot of people. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing. There's a bit of a mismatch. It's not working. There's bits missing. And when it all comes together, yeah, it feels good, doesn't it, when it comes together?
It is. And I think it takes huge tenacity and patience here. So don't think that after 2 weeks with Mandy, it'll all be fab.
No.
What it may be is it might be a bit more confused. But I would say there are sort of layers to getting this right. You have to know who you are, offer that with grace, also know who you're not. And the whole point of this is to, I think, to become more of you and offer that light to shine ever brighter. I always say that to my clients. Come to me in a safe harbour and you will leave refreshed and restored. And I would wish that to be anything I was part of. So you're our class, our teammates, and Gwen and Anna and Lou, who are our wider tech and mindset team, we have organically just been a lovely unit where there is grace and graciousness. So I would come and I could say something's happened and I've had a difficult week with that, and you would all be bothered for me and you would help with solutions. But if I'd said XYZ's happened and this has been utterly wonderful, and I am bursting to tell you, people are doing dances on the screen. And that is the caliber of the women in there. So I have never had such a nice class. I think that's a nice thing to say.
It is.
And you set a lovely tone. And the other thing is that I've never finished anything. I left school very, very ill with, I didn't, have any leavers or proms, or my degree was very long. My master's degree and my doctorate were very long. So actually, I'm quite thrilled I've done this. I'm quite thrilled I found you and I've done it, and there is fruit from it. And I'm one of my points I said to you very early on is we do a form every week of where we've been, what we've done. And I wondered, actually, the business of things being bitty, there was quite a lot to fit into your life. Come to the sessions, do the form, do your work, earn your money, all of that. So there's a lot to just slot in your diary, but it gives you a structure, which is lovely. And then basically, I would say what you need to do is you need to know who you are, know who you're not, be more of you, offer something that is economically viable. And then, quite frankly, you need a Facebook page, you need your logo, doing your branding, which you teach us how to do. You then need to start posting, then maybe try some Instagram or LinkedIn. Then you need a website, then you need an email list, and you just build the pyramid of work up. And then you write blogs, and the first one will take you a week, and you'll think, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then I could do 4 blogs in a day now. So I mean, I'm doing them before, and I had a basic level, and I loved the teachers I'd had before, but you were right at the right time.
That's lovely. It really is. And that's what I hope happens every time for people. I think people join when they are ready, when the time is right. And there is an element of sometimes we have to break things down and pull them apart at the beginning in order to put them back together in the right way, because what you think might be working for you or might work for you might not be the thing that will work for you. And that's what this program does, and that you don't get anywhere else, because there are several ladies on this program. You're going to meet some of them in the next couple of weeks as well, that have gone in completely different directions to where they thought they were going to go. And that doesn't mean they've left behind their talent or their genius. It means they've used it, leveraged it, and put it into different things to bring more people into their world. So that happens during this program. You've seen that with some of the ladies. That must have been interesting to watch, because you've really stayed in your lane but grown and decided how you're going to grow that. But you've seen others change direction.
Yes, and that has been joyous and empowering, because really what it means is it's all right to declutter a bit. It's all right to tweak a bit. It's all right to slightly change direction, or it's all right to quite frankly say, this is costing me money. I'm not making any money. This is making me miserable. And I'm just, plowing on for the sake of pride. And I have loved seeing the people who, quite frankly, had almost a fresh start and seeing how they build something again. And I wish I'd built mine as logically as they've built theirs. That's lovely, isn't it? I've been logical, but I've been thinking, oh, they're very good. These very clever women. So they've been a huge gift to me, as well as being able to, work and do what I believe I'm here to do, a loving purpose from great adversity. And this is also an important point, is that you understand adversity in a very rare way. And to the depths of which our souls have been stretched, most people think they've had a bad week or two and they understand resilience. And I think, oh my goodness, Treasure, you do not know you're born. Thank God you've got such an easy life. But the people who come on this course have sometimes issues with their health. They have big loads in their life. They're having to manage lots of things. And somehow the grace of those lessons, really, and sessions, it accommodates that people might need a pause. It accommodates that big life changes happen. It accommodates that people can be unwell, or just that, we're all right to come and maybe not have a question this week. We'll just listen. So it's the issue of warmth in the learning, I think, that matters.
Yeah. That was always important to me, because community is important. And when you're building a warm community, that's what you want there, isn't it? So you started with 2 clients, and you now have 12 paying one-to-one clients, and more on the horizon, and some new stuff happening in the next few weeks. Really, it is, isn't it? So tell people about what's coming for your business now, because it's really exciting, isn't it?
I have to say, and I say this utterly professionally, but I adore my clients. I find my time with them, I feel most alive. I'm most alive when I have a picnic on the beach with my husband and my puppy and my daddy. And the other bit is put me in front of somebody who's got a lot of things going on, and I will help them. And together we will make some progress. And I never say magic wand stuff. I just say, let's see what we're dealing with now, and let's try and tidy that up for you.
Yeah.
So the business of where I was when I started, and this is probably the most important part. I was diligent, but I was perhaps too gentle. And I was also lacking any tech knowledge, really. And now I've done my own landing sales pages and website pages. So, and now I like it. It's really fun. I'm going to have to do a lot of this. So I've got to choose to like it.
Yeah.
There are always good excuses and good reasons. But quite frankly, you've got to sit down on a Tuesday and keep going till you've learnt it, and have a rest, and then keep going back.
Mm-hmm.
So I had one, I would say, reasonably reliable client when I came. I'd had others in the past, but I'd worked as a Christian celebrant doing funerals and writing books. So I'd had bits of coaching all those 10 years, but I loved it when I had them. I just thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could have some more?
Mm-hmm.
And I had lovely results with that client. And I've still got them. I adore them. And then I had 2 others who were sort of hovering around.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fragile. But then I saw lots of people who would want to come to me, let's be honest, for free, or can we be friends and have a coffee, and can you tell me what to do? And,
Mm-hmm.
I never tell people what to do. I help asking the right questions,
and
support people. And as soon as people see their own worth and valor, lots of things get easier. So I gradually, every time I got a new client, I told our group in the win of the week. And it was wonderful to have that, the gusto behind me of your delight in that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've become more and more capable. That challenge has an element of, I would say, each of the modules of the whole course in. So you're getting a bit of a taste of what it's like, except you'll do one day, maybe a Tuesday in that 5-day challenge on what's your ideal client. And then there's a whole section on how to find them and who they are. And it's taken me, we're going to leave next week and I'm still working on it, but Last night I had an enormous breakthrough with it.
Mm-hmm.
So in that challenge, the challenge is a microcosm of that course. But there's much more in the course and many more wonderful people. So I had that, and then gradually I hope and believe I got some traction because I did the homework.
Yeah.
And I'm not earning mega bucks now, but I've paid the gas bills.
Mm-hmm.
I paid the diesel. Got a dog because everybody in the group had a dog and you encouraged us to live our joyous lives.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this is that it's been a slow, persistent evolution. And I have come with my questions. And when there was gaps at the end of the evening, I had more questions. And I hope I wasn't a nuisance. I hope I was just diligent.
No, you were brilliant.
But also to be gracious for others and help others and support the others was lovely. And keep them in with us and on track and looking after them. So I think really it's been a validation, a reassurance, and a propelling force. So in November, my next book is out, which will be my 4th book.
Number 4, I know.
Yes. And, I've learned how to do a good launch. I've learned how to understand that. I've learned how to write the right things that will help my readers. And I'm learning all the time how to talk to potential clients because they're very precious and I want to look after them. Mm-hmm. And I want to give them what I didn't have. And, I was very severely ill for 20 years with severe ME. And I've learned so many lessons from that. I've had chronically sick parents, degenerative illness, patron of mental health charity, and 1,000 funerals. Once you've got all that and a doctorate, you can help people. Mm-hmm. I knew that. And you gave me confidence when I came and I said, I got one little client. Help me get some more. And you said something, and I forgot to say this the last time. You said to me, and we had a 20-minute, come and see if you're going to come and do the course call. And I thought, well, I'll do this, but I had not decided. Mm-hmm. You said very graciously, you come across very well.
Yeah.
I thought, I said to my husband, the lady who knows lots of things said I come across very well. So I don't know that was an important statement, that there was something of worth to offer. Mm-hmm. So that's really where I was. So the book is coming. My books always come out on Advent Sunday.
Yeah.
So that is coming. And I can't wait to share that. But it's the books the others have done. It's the paintings the others have done. It's their gracious persistence that's been such an encouraging force. So look, hopefully, please come and join my email list and be in my world. But go and look at the others because you will be enriched because of them. My life is so much better with those friendships.
Totally. And you can get onto Becca's email list in the link in the descriptor at the top there. And your book launch is on Advent Sunday, which is 27th of November.
It is at 12:30, live on Facebook.
Live on Facebook. So you've got a book launch. There's an extra with that book launch, isn't there? And there's something else there lingering as well.
Yes,
so
there's something about
that, yeah.
Yes, but they'll have a triple launch. And in some ways, there's a little bit of you that's given me confidence to say, we will have a triple launch. Come on, it's good. Whereas I spend all of my time telling my clients now, darling, you can't stand in the corner of the room and charge 10 pence a year. You're better than this. And it's not all right that everybody exhausts you, and it's not all right that you're unwell and doing too much. And I say the same things often. And in many respects, that's because you've said those things to me.
Yeah.
You didn't say 10 pence, but you're always encouraging. But to still be fair and accessible. The thing, I don't charge vast amounts of money and I don't make massive claims, but we have wonderful outcomes. Mm-hmm. So double book launch on Advent Sunday, and then come Epiphany and the New Year, a membership called Life Joy, Super Life Joy. That will be hopeful.
Yeah. Super Life Joy. Think about that. What a wonderful, because we've got Inspiring Ivy that launched this time last year, Advent Sunday last year. New book this year, membership. This is you bringing that community together now, isn't it? Of the people that you have great joy in serving.
I do.
Yeah, and I think they have great joy in being in your world, and I think that works wonderfully, absolutely wonderfully now. So, any final comments then for the ladies in Creative Genius Corner that have been following me for a long time, that get value in this group for free, because I always share lots and lots of value for free with my audience, that would love to do this, but still sitting on that ledge of, Oh my goodness. You know what? It's such a big commitment. And I know it is. I know it, which is why I put the payment plans in. I extended my payment plans over 2 years to make it more affordable, but it still can be a really scary thing, can't it? So any final words of advice for people up there?
I don't like risk.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like is a measured, calculated judgment that is wise and logical. So I would say the first thing to say is, I'm not saying throw yourself at this and throw money at it, which you haven't got.
Mm.
It would be remiss of me to do so.
Yeah.
But I like you and I've loved your course.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. And it's done me a lot of good. And the other thing in all of this is quietly, I've never seen you lose your rag. I've seen you try when you've had a big load on your shoulders and you've turned up and you've said, I am fine. Good girl. But also, and I've seen you comfort people who are in distress and say, don't worry, we'll sort this out. And, not just take people's money and run, which is important. So I think payment, I've never had anything on payment plan.
The tip.
The tip. And this is the funny bit but you see, I hadn't bought things I didn't absolutely desperately need. So I've never been on a plane. So there's lots of things in my life that illness is dominated and not allowed for. But I just thought carefully about this, because the real crux of the money question, because this is an energy and a money question.
Yeah.
Will I make that much money from doing the course? Will the course pay for itself? That's an important question.
Yeah.
Because it won't unless you do the work.
Yeah.
That's an important thing. Then the next thing is, am I able to do the payment? If you can do, if you're happy to do the big chuck it all in at once, marvelous. And if you've got it to do that. But if you haven't, you need to think very wisely about the measures you can take to afford that payment plan.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started in my business, I only bought food and fuel for a year and saved up about, I can't remember how much I bought a laptop. I didn't buy much to start with, but I did that. And that was a plan before I started to get enough money to cover me. I'm sorry, that'll be my bonus grandpa. He has no understanding that I'm talking to you. He thinks he's going to be supportive. But you see, my bonus grandpa's 96. He's not my grandpa, but he's my biggest supporter. And he shouts to me, go and be a vigilante, darling. Go and look after the people. Go on. So he's just, so forgive me for that. So the people who are wondering and wavering, make a wise decision. Come and talk to me. If you've got a ton of debt and a ton of trouble and no income, that's not wise.
No.
If you've got a bit of income, you can cut back somewhere and you can absolutely turn up with the teacher every time. I think it's a wise move at the right time. Mm-hmm. So I'm not all hell for leather, you've got to do this. But I am all hell for leather to try and do your all and find the right teachers. And if the time will pass anyway. And mm-hmm. you and I know this, how precious health and unity are.
Yep.
And your work is your loving purpose, I believe, apart from your relationships. I think it's what you're here to do. And if you don't do it now, you can do it in January or later on, or get some money stashed to do it, or earn some more. But you are unlikely to progress without more learning. You don't get degrees without a lot of essays. You don't get diplomas without a lot of homework. And you don't get businesses without a lot of work. And dare I say it, investing in yourself.
Well, you are your biggest asset at the end of the day, aren't you? No matter what you're doing. You don't get promoted at work unless you do a load of work. It's always the same story. And this is why I feel very frustrated with the people that are doing the quick win stuff. And I can guarantee that I can help you in your business. And I have a lot of ladies that have come to me that have invested elsewhere and failed to make any money. And that absolutely breaks my heart. If I see someone isn't going in the right direction through this program, I go and intervene in some way or another, because I'm not going to let them out the other end without a success story.
Well, that's a lovely intention, and that's the whole point. And I also think in all of this, when we first started, you talked about your background.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I had peace from the background of the struggle, because I understood you and knew that. But I was quite inspired. The first few times I thought, tell us about when you worked for IKEA. Come on, tell us the things. Because there's credibility with experience and success in other arenas.
Yeah.
But essentially, you were successful in business in a retail environment, which is essentially just you've evolved to this.
Yeah.
So you'd done that. So there was a kind of evidence, social proof there. But mainly also the amount of slog you had done, I thought was impressive.
And I think that's what we all do. And I watch creatives do the amount of slog in, creating these beautiful things that they manage to create. And then there's nothing at the end of it. Nobody's buying it. And that breaks my heart, because we're living in a society where that's expected, that you don't make any money as a creative. And that's why I stepped into this arena and said, you know what, it's time that this changed, and that creative women of all ilks, so whether you're an author or an artist or a mosaicist or an illustrator, we've had everybody through the program, even wax melts and fitness with Rachel's as creative as the next person with her fitness and her mindset. It doesn't matter where your creativity shows up. I wanted to break that mold, and I think when you've got a deep passion and a deep desire and you create something based on that, then you can't help but succeed in your business, but you can't help but succeed with your clients, because you have their best interests at heart. And that's, I suppose, where I sit on it. And it's good. And I'm really pleased that comes across and that you've picked that up. So I think we've been chatting for a while. And I could stay here on all day talking to you, Becca. I really could.
Yes,
but I have
one thing to suggest as well, which is important, is that on these weekly accountability, they call them accountability forms.
Yeah.
Now, I work too hard. So in some ways, an accountability form makes me be too motivated and work too hard. And I said to you at the very start, I need you to say, Becca, you need a weekend off.
Yeah.
So that was an important thing. But there's extra things to add in that form. And you have listened with grace. So if I've said, maybe this we could do this, or maybe this would be wise, and then it's done by Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it's involved. So there's the issue of humility to listen is very important, but also to just quietly adapt to the people who are in there. Because the whole thing is an evolution, I think. It's a moving part.
Well, yeah, if you don't move your businesses to fit with your clients all the time, because it is a moving part. You've done that with as you found more of the right people for you, you learn as much from the people that you are helping. And if you can't accept that, and you just produce something that stays fixed and never changes, then you're not going to stay in business, are you? You're not going to evolve. So yeah, it's a good point there. Thank you for that. Right. Lovely lady. I am going to be jumping on a call in 20 minutes. So thank you for coming in here. This has been a lovely chat here. Gwen's with us. I don't know whether she's still with us, but she was there. So
Gwen and Anna and you have been treasures for us. And I would have paid the money to have all you as my pals. And that's a really daft thing to say. It's unbusinessy, but that's the fruit of it. But now I know when my clients come and they've got distress in their faces at the start of the session and they are better at the end with complex conditions, is that there's been some homework with you for a year and some huge effort and an enormous to-do list. I've got a book, but that has had the effect that those people don't drown. So that's why I've loved it. It's gone enormously quickly. I'm like, don't go, my girls, where are you? Really, I also know that it's time to put my big girl shoes on and do the homework. And now I hope be your friend and advocate, but also keep doing the things.
And that's all any of us can do, is keep doing the things, isn't it? So yeah, Gwen's been watching. That's what I'm saying. I think she'll probably want me to download this and share it elsewhere now. So right. Thank you very much, Becca. Have a wonderful weekend. All of you have a wonderful weekend. And if you're not already in, get yourself in the 5-day challenge. Do not miss it this time. And if you've done it before and you didn't finish, do it again.
Do it again. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I think Nixie, who joined last time, it was our 3rd 5-day challenge or a 4th. So, it's okay to do it more than once. You get something different every time. So click the link, get into Becca's link, wherever that link is, up or down. Click Becca's link and be there for her launch, which will be so exciting. And I will see you all next week. Thank you, Becca.
Thank you. God bless.
Bye.